It's 1973, the evening of the same day that Zoe's mother, Gloria, discovered Zoe's passport and tickets for China. Zoe is almost at her front door. The house was once a pleasant 1930s semi, but her mother has seen to it that that's no longer the case. Single glazed Art Deco style windows with their striking sunburst designs have been replaced by featureless modern double glazing. Despite Zoe's pleading, even the postbox red wooden front door with its church-like stained glass has gone. A slick grey substitute now sits in its place. Zoe hates it all, but especially the poorly paved, gardenless frontage. The only saving grace of having two hunks of metal, parked where grass and flowers used to grow, is her guilty pleasure, her dad's sparkling Triumph Herald Vitesse soft top. She runs her finger down it while she squeezes past. The living room's net curtains twitch as she turns the key in the front door's shiny new lock. Once inside, ignoring the regimented rack that contains a row of meticulously polished black leather footwear, Zoe kicks off her shoes. Then, as if chased by an imaginary assailant, she bounds up a steep crimson-carpeted narrow staircase. Upon nearing the top, a shrill female voice calls out from the ground floor.
Zozo, I need to speak to you.
Zoe dashes into her bedroom and gently pulls the door closed behind her. It seems that by being hidden she hopes to evade any further interaction with the woman downstairs. Spinning around, she falls backwards, spread eagle, onto her bed, in doing so disturbing magazines and thick geography and history books. Her eyes close for a second or two before lines of puzzlement grip her brow. She sits upright, glancing about as if something indefinable wasn't right. These weren't left like, "I'm busy." Didn't you hear me? Zoe knows that the matronly-looking lady, occupying much of her doorway, at least in width, must have something pressing to say to have moved so quickly. Despite her size and the glistening sweat on her face and neck, she is immaculately turned out, in a white dress shirt and a thin black cotton jumper. The sleeves of the shirt have been carefully folded up each forearm, taking the arms of the jumper with them and exposing a silver bangle on her right arm and a small yellow-hued antique-looking watch with a faded gold bracelet on her left. The shirt and jumper combination struggle to cover her thighs and rear, but her dark trousers do conceal the most unsightly of her lumps.
How can I help you, Mother? Isn't it supposed to be ladies' circle night or something like that?
Zoe has her own ways of degrading their relationship as often as possible, the use of the word mother being one of her favoured techniques.
Zoe, I've been thinking, I know you wanted some sort of holiday given all the work you did for your exams, but wouldn't it be better to get a job first and have some money? Once you've got savings, you'll have real options.
Red-faced and looking like she could go for her mother at any moment, Zoe shifts slightly down in her parents' direction. Her verbal counterattack is, for now, only weaponized with Latin-style gesticulation.
I've got enough money. You know I never spend any. Anyway, there's plenty of time for work. Look at you and Dad. He's been working since forever, and you're always at one sort of function or other, doing whatever it is you do.
The mother scowls.
I work just as hard as your father does.
Zoe reins in the arm waving and lowers her tone.
Well, can you honestly tell me you're happy? 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 Adults have responsibilities. Mortgages, children to feed and clothe, car repayments.
Affecting a pitiable countenance, Zoe's mother drops her hands to her sides.
Well, whose fault is that? For a start, we're the only family in the street with 2 cars. Most people don't even have one. I know you've been in here, going through my stuff. Don't deny it.
Gloria moves closer to her frustrated offspring, gesturing in the direction of the bed and floor.
I've been tidying up because you make such a mess. I've never brought you up to be slovenly. I've set a good example. A good example. Mundane, consumerist nothingness. And those are the better examples you've set.
Moving even nearer to the bed, Gloria collects together some of the books, laying them in a careful pile. She then does all she can to sit slowly and regain some composure. Despite her best efforts, the mattress, the bed's base and the floorboards all creak. She reaches out, nervously rubbing her hand up and down one of Zoe's shins and wearing a blank stare.
That sounds more like your strange friend Benjamin talking. That boy worries me. He always has. You never seemed to care this much before. You know I don't really get on with other girls, and Ben is never so much as... That's all we've ever been. Just friends. He'll lead you down the wrong path to goodness knows where. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up in one of those weird sect thingies. In China, probably.
Zoe rolls her eyes before her demeanour suddenly changes from one of puzzlement to anger. Pulling away from her mother, she swiftly takes up a cross-legged position, pillows acting as an impromptu backrest.
China?
Zoe glances towards the area her mother rummaged through only a few hours earlier.
Just because Ben wants more from life than kids, cars and to climb greasy poles, there's more to this existence than your clubs and new double glazing and big hunks of metal parked where a garden should be.
Gloria, Zoe! Keep it down up there!
See what you've done by raising your voice? Your father can't even hear his football scores. Me?
Her mother tries to reach out again, but Zoe is in no mood for pacification. Gloria tries continuing in a calmer tone.
What about Jason? He's such a good-looking boy, more normal too. His father's got a well-paid job in the city, and I'm sure I heard he was planning to be an engineer or a banker. We'll always need them, you know. Besides, Jason's liked you since forever. Don't expect that Benjamin to look after you, if that front garden's anything to go by. Him and that granddad of his can hardly even look after themselves. He'll probably get into drugs, pot and worse. That's if he already hasn't. Mother!
I'll sell the ticket, you know.
What? I rang the travel agent. I had to.
Zoe can feel she is turning a brighter red than even she thought possible.
What?
The mother reaches out and gently touches Zoe's arm. The recent revelation is so profound that Zoe seems too numb to react at all.
Said it wasn't too late to cancel. Promised we could get the money back. Mother, what have you done?